All right, and we are live again here this Sunday afternoon. Good to see everybody here tonight.
Hello, hello.
Another late call. Missed our Thursday again. These weeks are crazy, but
Just pack them too full.
But we're excited to be here tonight, and those of you here that are watching, we're excited to be able to share an important conversation with you, one that we have been struggling through and talking about, and excited now. We're starting to have a breakthrough of perspective on a topic that a lot of people debate whether it's possible or not. Hey, Kayleen and Rick, good to see you today.
Welcome.
So, and even the fact that we're having our call here, our Facebook Live on Sunday, instead of Thursday night, which is our target and our plan, shows you kind of what we're talking about. It's an example of this amazing concept of balance. I don't know, what comes to your mind when you think of balance? We'd love to have some feedback from you guys. And of course, any comments and stuff. But this is a raw conversation from us. In fact, this is something that's very fresh that Alicia and I have been talking about. And in fact, when I first asked Alicia, I said, "Did you think it's possible to have a balanced life?"
I said no.
Yeah, her first inclination was no. And most people it is. Now, for us, we've been the last couple of years have been on this personal growth journey of really trying to master ourselves personally and be disciplined and be able to not settle, not be above average, and get control of our life. Because we had a lot going on. We have 4 kids and multiple businesses, and we have a lot of stuff, a lot of busyness, a lot of stuff going on. And so we're like, we've got to get some balance in our life. We've got to get some control here, right?
Right. Because life has a way of bringing not balance.
Yeah. And
throwing us out of balance.
And so, of course, you read all these books, and you go, I got some coaching, which I'm still being coached by, and that's a big part of helping us open our eyes to this on this journey. But, part of the coaching was the Vital 7 areas that my coach used, called the Vital 7 program. Basically, all the areas of importance that you need to include in your life, your daily schedule, your weekly schedule, in order to have the firm foundation. And so at first, when you first look at it, like, oh yeah, it's going to be awesome, we're going to be able to get these areas, we'll get our schedule, we'll get together Sunday afternoon or evening, and we'll plan the week out and have it all set. And, we gave what we felt was balanced time for all the Vital 7 areas, And what those Vital 7 areas are is spiritual, mental, emotional, physical, financial, social, and then sexual. If you're married or even if you're not, you're a sexual being. You know how to relate to the other sex, as well as prepare for marriage and how to deal with that area of your life. And so, that's the quick view of the Vital 7 there. And so, trying to include all those areas in, at first it looks like, okay, no problem, right?
Right.
We got schedules, we got calendars, we got...
You just put it right in your schedule, right?
And we're all set and ready to go. But then guess what? Monday morning happened.
Life happens.
And Monday morning happened, and for whatever reason, the schedule is non-existent. Or, all of a sudden it's like the domino effect. One little kink in your schedule and your plan happens, and next thing you know, everything's out of whack. And next thing you know, you feel like you're a complete failure. Why in the world am I even trying to balance anything, or is it possible? And so you're like, I give up. Or you just revert back to your normal tendencies, what you normally do, what your comfort routine is, or your escape mechanisms, whatever that is. And you say, it's not possible. And you keep going on the way you've been going, and nothing changes. And so nothing changes. And so that's what the sad reality is, that so many people experience, and that we experienced even. And I think, this is something that became really real to us when we really started trying to focus on these areas and tried to really make a balanced life happen.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
That's true, yeah.
And so, what is it? And I'm going to ask you right now. I wish you could do a quick yes or no, thumbs up, thumbs down. But, do you think that balance is possible? And it's amazing how many times I tell some people are yes, but most people are no. They say, screw balance. Balance is crazy. Don't even try to be balanced. There's no such thing as balance in life. And on one hand, I have to agree that, yes, there's nothing in life is balanced. And in fact, if you go to the actual definition of what balanced is, the definition, I'm going to read it right here. It says, it's an even distribution of weight, enabling someone or something to remain upright and steady. So it's like an even distribution of whatever it is, remaining you to stay upright and stay steady. And so that's what balance
according to that
is.
definition, I can't give a balanced, equal distribution. So it's not possible.
And most people view balance as almost like a static statue on display, in a sense, on this nice platform, this stable platform, and that's been set up by other outside sources to put it on this teetering position or whatever to, evenly distribute all the vital 7 areas around their life and help them get it all set. It's almost like an external type of a balance. And that if you have any kind of external disturbance, then guess what? Balance is gone. And something that, we've realized as we've tried to live a balanced life is that there is nothing stationary and set on any external world that we live. That we realize that the world is round. And it took a few people a while to just got to realize that. They thought it was flat, but shock. The world is actually round, and that the world is moving. Not only is the world we find ourselves living in round, but it's also moving. Mm-hmm. I mean, why in the world would we even consider and try to live a balanced life with that kind of a foundation, with that kind of a platform on which to build it on?
And our whole foundation is round and moving.
So we're like disadvantaged from the very beginning if our mindset, our perspective of being balanced is having external playthings in place or having everything equally distributed in a way that, and I think that that's what balance is. And so that's a reason why, even for us, we would find ourselves discouraged.
Right.
And find ourselves, wanting to give up or say it doesn't make sense and stuff. But, it wasn't until we got a different perspective on what balance really is. And that's what I'm excited to share with you tonight, because that's the breakthrough. That's why, we're so excited and passionate, and now we are firm believers that, yes, you can live a balanced life. And that's a secret we want to share with you, because it's been mind-blowing for me. It's been so much. It's helped me gain confidence. It's helped me just be able to be still excited, to have the ability to keep moving forward, even
There's hope.
Yeah, hopeful when my whole schedule, my life gets just disarrayed or blown, when I get knocked off track or off course. And so what is that? What is this perspective of how can we actually have balance in this extremely unbalanced, unrealistic, environment that we find ourselves in? Well, let me give you another definition of balance that helps kind of explain this premise of what we believe true balance is. And it's actually a definition in the dictionary, but it's down a little ways from the first definition that most people stop at. And that definition is that balance is a condition in which different elements are equal or in the correct proportions. The correct proportions is basically stability of one's own mind or feelings, to keep or put in a steady position so that it does not fall. And so that's a whole different perspective on it.
Not this equal distribution.
It's not equal, but it's different elements, it's distribution in the correct proportions for what we're experiencing at the moment, for what situation we find ourselves in. And basically, you have to view it this way. Being balanced is not like being a statue on a perfectly flat platform where someone assembled it together and they put all the elements together in equal distribution so it's all perfectly balanced. But if it gets knocked or banged or the wind blows or something changes, it collapses, falls, and crashes. Being balanced is actually it's a moving, living, working work of art. It's that instead of a stationary statue, it's actually a person doing yoga. It's a yoga work of art where actually a person's live in front of you doing the muscle contortions and moving in different forms and directions.
And they have to be balanced or they fall over.
But they are so balanced. But it's an inner balance. It's not an external balance. It's an inner balance. It's such a balance, and it's a core strength that they have that they can be on a ball. Have you seen these circus acts? They can be on a ball. They can be on a tightrope across the Grand Canyon or wherever they do these things and do all these moves and acts and bend their arch their backs, their feet backwards over themselves and tuck their head through their legs. All these things, and be in perfect control and balance, even though the rope's moving, the ball's moving, the wind's blowing, no matter, they can be on some kind of moving vehicle and doing this. We went to a horse show not too long ago, and this lady came out doing all these different moves in the stirrups or on the saddle while this horse is running around the arena. That's what true balance looks like. It's a core strength. It's an inner balance. It's knowing what those vital 7 muscle groups are on the inside of you and being able to engage those, to build those, and being able to then use those to help move you in whatever direction that you find yourself. That's right. It's the ninja of life. Hey, Chris. How you doing, man? And so that was like, when we saw that, that was like a boom.
Light bulb.
To where, yes, we can experience a balanced life, but it's balanced in us. It may look completely unbalanced to other people.
Right. Well, and that's just it. There's not this is what balanced is for every person. And it's not even what balance is going to look like for me 100% of the time. But it's that flexible, all the moving parts, and it's all the pieces, but it's moving, it's fluid.
And so it's an inner type of a core strength. It's an inner kind of balance to where that affects the outward, but it's not reliant upon the outside environment, the outside, it doesn't matter what's going on outside. You can still go with the flow, go with the punches. You can still move, you can still adapt, while all the while being balanced in your own life, in your own mind. It's a stability of mindset to where, yes, you may, like I had many times that I had a plan of doing something, at this time, but then something unexpected out of the blue, a phone call or a circumstance or someone gets sick or whatever it is, demands my attention in another area of my life, and I have to flow and adapt that way and move and deal with that. But it doesn't mean I just give up, I fall over, I topple, I collapse, I say it's not worth it, I'll never be able to be balanced again in my life. And it doesn't mean that I neglect the other areas of my life, the other core muscle groups. In fact, it's those core muscle groups that I've engaged and that I'm using right now, even though I'm favoring one way or the other, that actually enables me to be able to do that.
Exactly.
Because I know I can pull back that way. And so that's what is exciting. I think the best example we love for this whole concept is the idea of working out your muscles, yoga, exercise, flexibility, because that's one area that we have been really focusing on starting last fall and into this year, is being flexible. I mean, some of you don't know, but back in my early to mid-20s, which I'm just had my 39th birthday in February. And stuff, almost 40. Uh-oh. And so anyways, back in my early to mid-20s though, I had a circumstance in my life to where I got attacked with an autoimmune disease that we later diagnosed as ankylosing spondylitis. And that was a real trial in my life because it came in and it attacked my different large joints as well as my back, my lower back especially. In fact, I have 3 fused discs, my lower discs right now that have caused, I'm trying to work out and limber up and work on loosening up. But the fact is, because I had sore joints, then I favored certain muscles and I didn't use other muscles because of pain, because I had pain that I was trying to compensate for. And that's one reason why, when we talk about how do we live a balanced life, or why don't we experience balance in our life, is there's multiple reasons, and one of them is maybe we have hurts or pains that we're trying to compensate for, and we're not willing to work on bending in that direction, or working those muscles to work out that pain. I'm thankful now that it went into remission when I got closer to 30, my late 20s into close to 30, and that I don't have the same pain now, but I have the results of having the pain in my life, that pain in my back, of the stiff core muscles now, and I've been very stiff. And so that's one of the biggest things I've been having to work on in order to have balance. And with that being said, because I didn't have all my core muscles being used there, because I didn't have all my core muscles being worked or used, I'm not able to be balanced in certain circumstances yet. And I'm working on that. It's like when I go to the gym right now with my personal trainer, she has me go and do these different moves or try to stand certain ways or do these different stretches, I have to like get something to hold on to or I'm going to fall over and stuff because, there's areas that I still am very weak in because of compensating and trying to protect areas of pain in my life. And that's one thing for us that'll keep us from being balanced is if we're not willing to address painful areas or painful experiences or areas of fear, areas of things that we compensate for, we're not willing to let go or willing to work out. And so those muscles, those certain areas stay weak and keep us from being able to be balanced in our inner person, right?
Exactly.
And stuff. So think of it as your core muscles. You have, and whatever, how many groups you have, I don't know. But for sake of analogy, you have 7 core muscle groups in you that needs to be worked on. And most of us have 1 or 2, maybe more, that we use on a normal basis that we're pretty strong in. Okay, there's certain areas that maybe you're really good at finances, maybe you're good at family, or maybe you're good at working out, maybe you're a good social bug, or whatever it is. But we usually have quite a few other ones that we aren't, that we're not using, that stay small. And so we compensate for those. And so when we get stuck in certain circumstances or situations, then we don't have the core strength to adapt and to flow. And so we are going to, stumble or fall or get knocked over, when life happens and circumstances. And so, we're going to talk about a few things you can do to help truly be able to live this balanced life, because if you look at this, a balanced life is possible. Because it does not it's not determined by outward circumstances. It's not determined by what any other person around you. But it all has to do with you and your inner strength, your inner belief, your inner core person.
And you working on your muscles.
Yeah, and you work on your muscles.
Yeah.
And pushing in your strengths. Like right now, so I haven't made leaps, as far as from what I was a few months ago when I started working out, as far as stretching, flexibility, being able to bend over and touch my toes. Not quite there yet, but I'm getting a lot closer than I was and stuff. But, I know, I can feel when I'm hitting those spots, when I'm working in those 4 areas, and when I'm, hitting the areas that, I've tried to avoid before. And I've seen a result of that. I'm getting more balance. I'm getting more strength, more core strength. I'm able to handle things as they get thrown at me more than I used to. And even you've mentioned that.
Definitely.
I used to get just knocked out by certain circumstance that would hit me, and it would just knock me down. And now, I sway a little more. I flow with it a little more. And it takes a lot more to knock me down than it used to before. And so, what's some other reasons why maybe we don't experience balance in our lives? Can you give any other reasons? Because another reason I was thinking was a lot of people have never really had to stand on their own.
Right.
And so if you have never, some kids growing up had everything provided for them, had everything they're taken care of, they're sheltered in certain environments. They've never had to stand on their own. They've never developed the core 7 values in their life, these principles, and never had to work them. And so that can be a reason why some people don't have balance, because they've never needed to. And so they never, and another reason I think too is that a lot of people just don't know. They've never thought about it. They've never thought about what are your core muscles. Working out, I have discovered so many muscles in my body
didn't even know we had.
that I never even knew existed. I mean, it's crazy. And it's been so cool as I'm glad I got a personal trainer to help me, because I'm doing certain moves and working on different angles and different kinds of weights and different movements that I never even dreamed was possible, for one, and that I never thought to even do. Everyone knows the pull-ups, or they know the push-ups, or the regular bench press, or whatever it is, the squats. But there's, if you change the angle a little bit, you hit a whole different muscle group. Or if you grab a certain type of weight equipment, or you put yourself in a certain position, or whatever it is, you find a whole different group of muscles that you never even knew existed.
It's true.
And it's the importance of hitting all the different muscles in your core, and not just focusing on a couple of different ones, if you want to have that core strength and if you want that balance. Because, you have to have strength, you have to have strength and stability, and that's something you have to work on, and that's what the growing process is. And so, but it is possible, because it's all up to you. It's all up to me.
Right. And I think it's admitting those things too. That, okay, I am weak in this area, but I'm going to work on it. You know, I mean, just like with working out, I know there's been times when even as we're doing a workout, I'm like, oh, I can't quite, and I'll just compensate and do it a little bit different so that I can get it done. So same with life, you know, those things that we're strong in, we just keep focusing on those, and balance takes stopping and working on those issues that we know are issues and we're weak in.
Yeah. And so that's something I want you to think about. You know, that's basically the gist of what, you know, we believe balance is. We'd love to see your feedback and your thoughts on this. But, you know, we view it as it's a living, moving organism. It's not this stationary, static look or statue, this one-size-fits-all box.
Right.
You know, that everyone has to have in order to live a balanced life. It's not this program you do, and now you're going to have a balanced life. If you approach it that way, then you're going to be sorely disappointed. You're going to be sorely discouraged because it's just not that.
Right.
But if you view it as that it is learning the core muscles groups in your life that are important for your stability and working on those and starting right where you're at, you know, learn where you're at right now. What muscles do you have that you can use? Keep working those and then start just adding in the other ones to your routine. Mm-hmm. Add those muscles into your workout. You know, keep doing the workouts you've been doing that you're strong in. Don't just like stop those, but start including in slow bits on a consistent basis these other little movements. Mm-hmm. Add in these other 7. Maybe you have a couple of these areas, like I said, honed in. Well, start including some of the others. You know, maybe you can't, you know, in the sexual area or the marriage, like relational area of your life, the vital 7. Maybe you can't actually take your wife on a full weekend couples retreat or date. Or maybe you can't even go on a date night because of circumstances in your life or whatever, for whatever reason, kids, finances, or health, or whatever it is. But can you at least say, I love you? Can you at least give her a kiss? Or can you give her a hug? Or can you write a little note? Or send a text? Or an emoji? Or whatever. It's just doing something in the vital 7 areas. Not equal distributions of the same thing in every area. You know, if you're, for some reason, can't get to the gym or you can't work out in that vital 7 physical area of your life, then, you know, it doesn't mean you just give up and you're a failure or unbalanced. Can you drop down and do 20 push-ups?
Right.
I had one of my coaching clients that I was working with, and he was like talking to me saying, you know, Justin, I just can't find time to work out. And I was like, I'll tell you what, man, I want you right now, we're on the phone conversation, I said, I want you right now to jump down and on the ground and do 20 push-ups. And guess what? He said, what? So yeah, jump down right now. Just do 20 push-ups. I'll sit and wait for you. He sat down and did 20 push-ups. I said, guess what? You just worked out. How hard was that? 20 push-ups. And how can anyone can fit that in? You know, can do a couple stretch routines. It's just in some small way, including every area of the vital 7 in your life. It's not having to have equal amounts of everything in order to have a balanced life. Mm-hmm. And that's the principle that we want you to try to grasp from this talk. Is that
balance is touching on them all.
Touching on them all.
Not equal.
And, you know, I would say that within a week period, you should be able to give some significant time to each area in your life and work that in. That's reasonable, that's workable, you should be able to do that. I think it's
keeping those things in our mind too. Okay, I mean, I said I love you, but we really need a date night, or, you know, I need to devote more time, and so you're looking for those opportunities. And then when they come, then, you know, the other things get put aside, and that's what you're focusing on.
Yeah, exactly. It's like even for this, our Facebook Live call. I mean, we have it set up that every Thursday night at 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, you know, we're going to have our call. Well, guess what? Something came up this last Thursday night, and we weren't able to do it. So guess what? We didn't ignore it and not do it. I actually put out a little post and said, hey, sorry, we had something come up tonight, but we're going to do it sometime this weekend. We'll give you a notice when it happens. And so then sure enough, earlier this afternoon, I put out a little notice saying that, okay, we're going to be talking around 4:30-ish, sometime around there, and here's our topic. And we worked it in. Hey, JoJo, good to see you. Hey, thank you very much for your encouragement. We definitely enjoy the week we have with you guys, you and your conference and everything. It's an awesome event. But anyway, so, you know, and now here we are doing this Facebook Live. We worked it in. We went with the flow. That's what we're talking about. It's that core balance. It's that core strength and stability that actually does bring balance in your life.
Right. And I can say as a mom, there's many times when I feel like, you know, am I giving my kids a stay-at-home mom, but also working and, you know, just keeping that all balanced. And that's a big one that I struggle with. Well, I'm just trying to be very purposeful, and when I do have a few minutes that I'm, being very intentional with them and spending time with them, and that's what balance as a entrepreneur mom and wife and everything else, just looking for those pockets of time and where can I invest in each one of these areas. And sometimes it's big. Yesterday we took some time there was nothing pressing with work and everything else. Sure, there was tons that we could have done, but we decided, we haven't spent a lot of time with the kids, and so we spent pretty much the whole day with them, worked out with them, we did puzzles together, we watched a movie together, we just, we hung out as a family. So it's not that every day we have 10 minutes and 10 minutes and, all these different, it's just, we're going with the flow, but the areas that need, that did get, kind of shortened during the week, then we're working on those.
Yeah,
so.
but every try to, see my kids, say hi to my kids. I try if I can, try to have dinner with them. If I can in the morning, I try to have a devotion with them. I try to do something with them.
Exactly.
We do have a schedule, a plan. Around, we don't just quit.
Exactly.
We don't just give up. We don't just say crumble and fall and say it doesn't work.
Right.
And so that's, just like in fact the working out analogy. Every time typically when I go, we work on for strength building, different muscle groups. Sometimes it's arms, maybe it's back, maybe it's legs or chest or whatever it is. But we always do some kind of stretch, workout, warm-up kind of quick little routine. And it touches on all the muscles, just kind of get them all kind of jive, moving, stimulated, awake, so that we can then work on those core areas that we're working on. And so, that's the way it is in life. Balance is not an even, like I said, distribution, and it looks the same every day, every week. And if it doesn't, then, we feel discouraged, we give up and say it doesn't work. But balance is personal from the inside.
That's right.
And that's the core difference. It's an inner stability. It doesn't matter what's happening on the outside. Also, it looks different for everyone.
Exactly. I love that.
Yep.
So often I'm comparing myself and thinking, I'm not balanced. I don't look like that mom or that, entrepreneur or whatever it is. But it's for me. And it's this period of time. It's going to look different. Yeah. A couple years from now, my kids are going to be older. And so, yeah.
Yeah, so that's the cool thing. And let's see, was there anything else? Keep your muscle intact. So that's basically it. So our definition for balance is an inner stability, keeping all our core muscles or our vital 7 areas engaged, no matter what the position we find ourselves in. And that's our definition of balance, and that is completely possible, and it's been so freeing.
Yes.
And so I would just encourage you to look at your life and say, are you living a balanced life? And it doesn't mean are you doing everything the same in every area every day, but it means, do you know what areas are important, number one, and number two, are you touching on at least all those areas somewhat in a consistent way, no matter if it's just touching as opposed to grabbing, rolling, totally engaging. And so,
which is also sustainable, because we've been thinking a lot about sustainable too, if you're just touching on those areas where,
And the cool thing is that, the fun thing about going to a circus or going to some kind of event like that is that you have all these individual acts or these different people out there, and these people are so gifted, they're so talented, they have such core strength and balance, but they all come out and look in different forms, in different looks, doing different things. And that's the unique awesomeness that each one of us has, is that balance will look completely different, like we said, because each one of us is unique. Even when we go to the gym, our muscles look different. Even Alicia and I are different people, have different form to them. And so even, there's not one type of even workout particular. You have to kind of adapt it to where you're at. And when I go to the gym, we select different weights, different types of, different amounts of weight at the time, because it all depends on where we're at. It's not like here's what all the men do, here's what all the women do. It doesn't matter where you're at. Right. And if you don't do this amount, then you're not balanced, and you kill yourself, because it's a process. It's something you grow into. I've seen myself starting able to use more weight in different types of positions and stuff, where it was embarrassing, and I'm still, pull-ups is one of my worst positions ever. I'm okay with like the half pull-ups or whatever, but when I do the full extension ones, I am like so weak in that area. Guys out there doing all this hardcore stuff, you know, and doing this stuff, and I'm trying to do pull-ups, you know. Everyone does pull-ups, right? And I'm trying to do pull-ups, and I have like every rubber band in the building hooked to my feet, helping give me some stable, you know, helping give me the extra to pull myself up, because the muscles just aren't there, or I mean, they're burned out and stuff. And so, but the fact of the matter is, I'm doing it. You know, at first I was like, this is embarrassing. You know, how stupid is this? I'm not going to do this. But then it was like, hey, I'm there doing it. And before long, I'm going to be able to eliminate a rubber band, because it'll be just me doing it myself, or whatever it is, whatever area and stuff. But it's a process you grow in. And you know, right now I can bend over and touch I can touch past my knees a little bit, but you know, or maybe my ankles. But eventually I'll be able to bend over and touch the floor with my hands flat and stuff. That's what's going to happen. But it's just consistent building that core strength, that core inner muscle group.
Yep.
So anyways,
Good stuff.
that's good stuff. Just don't want to ramble on here, but just want to encourage you. This is where we're at. I mean, we're like in the process of this, and we're excited. I mean, it's been a whole different mindset and excitement for us, confidence booster that, hey, we are living a balanced life. It looks unique for us,
Exactly.
but we're excited. It makes us, you know, otherwise you feel like a failure all the time.
Right.
And that's the problem. You feel like a failure, you want to give up, you don't want to keep doing it. And the fact of the matter is that the fact that you're doing it means that, you know, you're not a failure. Or the fact that you're even considering it means that you're not a failure. And so get out there, live a balanced life. It is possible.
Amen.
Right?
That's right.
All right, well, we thank you all for watching, and we look forward to hearing any comments from you. And keep it in touch, and let us know any other tips or tricks that you've learned on being balanced, and whether you believe you can be balanced or not. So anyways, have a great night. Thanks for watching.
Night.
And if you would share this, we really appreciate it to others, so we can help others get this important message. Thank you.